I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we discuss, dissect, and destroy movies, especially guilty pleasures. Then we decide if it's truly spoilt milk or if it's ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, let's go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. My name's Chris Hammond and as always I'm joined by Katty and The Hobo. How are you, Katty?
Oh, fuck you.
Gassy.
Gassy. Yeah, just before we started recording you did the loudest burp I've heard in a long time.
Actually, I may have it on the audio recording.
We didn't
so
invite you to this conversation.
Oh, fuck off. I was going to say we could cut in Catty's burp if we've got it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I wonder if we can auto-tune it and make a little song, Smash Mouth.
To make your editing time worse, we could have a here, and then whenever we say here, you have to input in Catty's burp.
Oh, what? I'm not doing that. You'll just say it every other minute. Anyway, how are you, Hobo?
I feel rejected.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, we are here to talk about Mystery Men.
But don't forget about Arnold.
From 1999. We also have Arnold here, the dog. If he barks, well, I'll try and cut it out. But you may just hear like tick, tick, tick.
He won't be here anymore.
You're not going to kill him.
Well, the listeners don't need to know what happens to him. Just know the noises stop.
So we are going to be discussing Mystery Men from 1999. And Hobo, you put forward an idea for a top 3. Do you want to kick us off with this one?
Yeah, I wish I could remember what film it was, but the idea came to me when I was watching a film so bad.
In a dream.
Came to me in a dream and I forgot it in another dream. That I was watching a film and I saw 2 tropes that I hate so much just pop up in very short succession. So... yeah.
Do you want to just give us both of them then? Are these the ones that you're going to be picking?
Well, I was going to pick one of them, but I can give you both. Yeah, the first trope is in English, please. Yeah, it doesn't just happen in films either. It's TV series.
Does that still happen?
Yes.
What, when someone says something like, the nuclear particle reactor has got it, and someone goes, in English, please?
Yeah, pretty much. It is the most... I want to say prevalent trope in all of media. It's just someone will have something to say. The worst version is they've falsified how sciencey it is. They'll add extra words that aren't real. It's like, the quantum manipulator is in a quantum flux of a particle state, and they add those words. In English, please, like, the portal is closing. But sometimes it is maybe like it could be a documentary type film or based on true, and the science is real, but there's always someone who goes in English, please. Yeah, and it's there's better way. I'm not saying
how would you do
that
better
need to happen, but there are better ways of doing it.
How would you do that better?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I could find you better examples of.
There's a really good example in Margin Call, which was the film before. What was the one with all like the big cast about the banking crash?
Oh, Big Short.
Yeah, it was before Big Short, but it was about exactly the same thing.
Okay, different.
And I think it's Jeremy Irons goes into a meeting. He says something like, treat me like I'm a golden retriever and dumb it down for me or something. And like, okay, then.
That's a great example. You don't need someone to over-explain it. You just need to set up the fact that this is going to be a simplified version. It's just like if someone was doing a talk to a crowd. If they knew their audience, they wouldn't go in saying something overcomplicated. They're just like, I'm going to give you the basics. It's just, that's all it is. The other trope is when, and I think does it happen in Mystery Men? But
did someone just burp?
I thought that was your stomach.
No.
Was it Arnold?
No, it was like unless Arnold's had some sort of voice change.
The other trope is someone says, "Oh, I don't like power, like ghosts or something like that," and they go, "Oh, I hate that word. I prefer to call it paranormal activity." That's a very bad example. There are literal examples.
What do you mean?
Is in they'll make up a term for something that's a well-known term just so they can look like the expert.
I mean, paranormal activity is a term.
Yeah, no, that was a bad example. But say, for example, someone said, "Oh, I don't
English,
like..."
please, hobo.
You motherfucker. So, yeah, someone said, "Oh, I don't like ghosts." The expert that's just come into the room and go, "I don't like using the term ghosts. I like to call them paranormal beings that are unexplained." But also ghosts. They always like loop it back round to why it's the same word anyway.
I feel like I need some examples of this.
I wish I could remember the example that did it, but it was just...
Actually, I feel like it's in one of the Insidiouses.
Yeah. The most recent example I can think of, and the TV series is great. So this is just a very minor thing. But in Haunting of Hill House, because I watched it recently, he does it. But episode 1, the guy he's going into that house and he's got his camera gear set.
The older brother guy.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I don't, do you think this is a supernatural event?" And he goes, "I prefer not to call it supernatural. Everything is natural. We just don't understand it yet. I call it super relative or something." I don't know. It's some shitty term. And it just wasn't needed. And the rest of the show was great writing. It was just that one bit. I thought, why did you need to call him that?
Is that not showing that he's like a bit of a prick, though?
Yeah.
A bit of a know-all. He could have just gone, yeah. But he's like, no, actually. But I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
So that's your 2 tropes. Do you want to go next? Or
I'll go next.
Yeah.
All right, okay, yeah. What are you going for?
Did you want to go next?
Yes, I'm going to go next.
Because you said I Googled for inspiration on this one. Did you?
I had to Google what it meant.
Oh, okay. But you got plenty of inspiration when you understood it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
What did you go for?
So I went for hackers.
Right.
Like,
yes.
someone can be good at a computer, but can fucking hack into any government website, and they're like, "I'm almost there.
Yeah.
I'm almost there. I'm into this mainframe."
But like some
And it's just
really
like-
good films do it, like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Oh, Alexis is or whatever is really good with computers." Like she's probably like an
She's probably
11-year-old.
hacked into someone's MySpace.
Yeah. And it's like that doesn't mean she can recode fucking Jurassic Park and do Dennis Nedry's job.
When Samuel Jackson couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Dennis Nedry's like, there's 10 people who should do my job, but I'm doing it and I'm doing it for cheap. And they're like, "Oh, just get that 11-year-old in." Yeah, hackers. Yeah, that's an annoying one. Is there any other examples that you can think of? Because it happens all the time.
Is it the film Hackers or is it the internet? The one with Sandra Bullock. That's the worst example of hacking.
What, The Net?
The Net, that's
I've
it.
never seen The Net.
It's terrible.
And is it not about nets?
Fucking terrible.
But even like Michael Mann's Black Cat that came out or whatever a couple of years ago, that was really similar. But yeah, that really pisses me off when they're like, "Oh, so-and-so's good at computers." And it's like, right, that's just a...
Is it Die Hard 4 as well? With that guy from Jeepers Creepers in it?
Oh, yeah.
Like he's good at computers and hacks the FBI or some shite.
Yeah. And they go and see Kevin Smith, don't they?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, because he lives in his mum's basement.
And he's the
He
hacker.
can help us hack the FBI. And you're like, no, it doesn't work that way.
A lot of hackers are either, one, they are just trying different variations of like known password combinations. So that's all it is. It's they're not really hacking. They're just trying to log in or get around using a forgotten password and tricking it. It's not proper hacking. And then the other one is looking at like code, but not in some sexy way where you type it in code. You're just looking for like a vulnerability in a massive load of code and it's just not. It's not anything like any movies suggest.
One of my friends hacked into the Hallmark website once, and there was one of his friends also works for Hallmark, and they were running a competition for like a year supply of chocolate. And so my friend managed to hack into the Hallmark website and put the word cock after chocolate in every single line. So year supply of chocolate cock.
How did they manage to hack into Walmart?
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say like cocklet.
Cocklet.
Change
No.
shock to cock.
Just cock.
Chocolate cock is even funnier though.
Because for an example of how easy it is to hack into certain websites, a lot of websites are built on a thing called WordPress, and all you need to get into how to log into the back end of it is whatever, say it's like google.com, obviously not built on WordPress, but google.com/WP admin.
Chocolate
That
cock.
gets you into the main login page. The default of WordPress for the username is admin, which most people don't change. And then the password is whatever you set. So some people were so shit for Hallmark, you'd set as Hallmark as a password. So that's why I was curious if he got in by just typing in, or even password 123.
I have no idea. I can try and find out.
Simple.
For all your hacking needs, listen to the Spoilt Milk movie podcast. I'm going to try that later.
Just try if you want to know if a website that you use is built on WordPress, just type in /WP-admin or login, and it takes you to a login page.
I'm coming for you, Dairy Milk. Right, so yours is hackers. I like that one. Do you know what I had to Google and be like, I just needed a starting point. And like the first one that came up, I was like, oh yeah, that does bother me. But then a lot of really good films use it. The hive mind. And they do it in like Stranger Things but it's in like loads of things, like even like Lord of the Rings as well. It's like you take out the big head honcho and everything else dies. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And they always come back to this hive mind, or that's what happens in a termite. And I'm like, well, fucking don't happen in anything else. It's not like if you kill the queen, we all die.
Yeah.
I mean, we might do.
Yeah, she's not been killed yet.
Same with bees. If you kill the queen bee, they don't die. They just go, all right, bitch, you're the next one.
Go on, lass.
God, they're so harsh, aren't they, these bees?
But I would like to know what the earliest instance of that is. The one I can think of that I remember watching in films is Phantom Menace.
What about things like body snatchers? Does that have a similar thing? Because that's what the faculty does as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kill the queen and everything else.
A lot of vampire films do it though.
Yeah, they do.
Kill the head vampire.
Yeah, Lost Boys, things like that.
The main vampire can see through all the people they've turned, can't they?
In some instances of...
And what was your vampire fact earlier?
If there's any vampires in the modern day, you won't be able to tell they were vampires by them looking in a mirror, because most mirrors now are made with aluminium as their shiny metal that is the reflector, where vampires couldn't see themselves in mirrors before because they were historically made out of silver, which is known to be a weakness to vampires. So.
In English, please.
Oh, I've got another one actually.
Oh yeah,
not a vampire fact, but things that piss me off. Girl seeing guy has boy best friend. Boyfriend is an absolute cunt. She then leaves boyfriend and realizes that she loves best friend.
Yeah. Was he like the smarter, sensitive, dorkier one to begin with?
It was just like Pretty in Pink, for instance.
Yeah.
And a mate Ducky. Like,
do you know what? I've never seen Pretty in Pink.
Have you not?
I thought you meant Breakfast Club. Sorry. I always get that mixed up. No, never seen it. Or 16 Candles. Got a big John Hughes hole in my heart. What? Yeah. So what, she leaves? Well,
she's like trying to be popular and shit, isn't she? And then like her best mate, I think she's all that takes takes a bit of a reference from it as well. Like Ducky's like this, I'm sure his name's Ducky. But anyway, her male mate is like this sweet guy, and like he's always there for her if she's upset. He's like there, and she's there trying to be popular and trying to like chase this guy, and then she realizes that she doesn't need them, but then she likes the friend, and it's just fucking weird. It's like, come on, like your best mate is telling you that your boyfriend's a fucking cunt. Like, if it's your best mate and you've known them since you're like knee-high to a grasshopper, take their opinion. Like, don't wait like, I don't know, 6 months into a relationship when your boyfriend spat in your face because you've not made his sandwich right.
This sounds a bit more personal now. This is, which mate didn't warn you about the spitter?
I think there's a rise of that nice guys subculture of guys who have seemingly watched these sort of films and thought, why doesn't that attractive girl that I never speak to but objectified go for me instead of the guy that they're with? And they're very shitty guys who think they now think that they're due some sort of reciprocation because they've seen so many films that say, you are the nice guy,
but in
you
the
are
film,
the better guy.
The better nice guy will be like Chris Hemsworth with like glasses on, and you're like, and some like fat mess sat behind his keyboard, like, why isn't that me? You're not. The dorky guy in the film is still usually got a 6-pack or whatever.
But then you get absolute fucking bellends that are like, well, I'm a nice guy, and it's like, no, you're a bit of a cunt.
Yeah,
like you try and buy girls drinks at bars, and then when they turn you down, you're like, oh, well, people don't like nice guys, do they? It's like, no, just don't want a drink from you. You're a stranger.
Yeah.
I
know a few guys like that.
To put the opposite in perspective, one time I've heard this. I wasn't there, but this is a story been told. One of my close friends, he was out at a very dingy club in Sheffield, Corp, and he's out with friends like in Hollywood, and he once just sat down to have a bit of a break, and some girl sat down next to him, and she kept going, oh, why don't you guys like me? And was kind of coming on to him, but just going, no, why don't guys like, and just keep, objectifying me and stuff. And apparently he was just a bit wasted and just went, it's probably because you're dressed like a slut. Like, he didn't do it in a malicious way. He's just that oblivious. He thought he was giving good advice.
Right, I feel like this could open like a can of worms. Right, remind us what your tropes were that you didn't like. Hobo, your first one, because the second one wasn't so clear. Katty.
Hackers.
And mine was going to be something else, but it's the hive mind. So we'll be back shortly to talk about Mystery Man.
Mr. Man.
Bye. Oh, hey there, Hobo. What did you draw last week?
I drew a blue dog last week.
Well, that's very good. Hello and welcome to another... I feel like that was loud. Hello and welcome to another episode of Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we're talking about Mystery Men. Katty, what is Mystery Men about?
So, Mystery Men is about... I feel like it's supposed to be New York City.
What is it called, though? It's got Champion City, is it?
Champion City.
Or something like that.
It's clear. I thought I got vibes of
Gotham.
Yeah.
Like kind of late Batman and Robin type Gotham.
Yeah. But we're based in the city and crime's going on. And there's one like main superhero, but then there's like this little group of normal guys that think they've got superpowers that want to start defending the city because they don't think that Captain Amazing is doing a good enough job. He's just in it for the publicity. He's not in it for like saving people.
Which he is, isn't
amazing. I thought he was amazing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I thought he lived up to his name in this film.
I thought you were a cunt.
But he was losing his Pepsi sponsorship.
True.
So it can't have been that amazing.
No, but he had a Japanese sponsorship that looked like Pepsi.
Was that supposed to be like the Japanese symbol for Pepsi?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or could they just not get the rights?
I mean, it could have just said cunt in Japanese, but
Yeah,
we
it could
wouldn't
have.
know.
Cunt McGee.
Yeah.
So this film starts in quite an odd way, doesn't it?
I love it.
This, like,
it's like an old folks weird party.
yeah, this weird party, isn't it? Where they're just like buzzing.
I'm loving the old people on mobility scooters just like going round in a circle like it's some sort of fucking conga line.
Do you ever wonder how they do the sort of set design, makeup design to look, because that old Fogies place, it was still old Fogies, but it looked like the Batman and Robin era. So it was both, you understood where you were, but it was very slightly skewed to this surreal, and I loved it. I love that look. I don't know how they do it.
There's lots of like Dutch angles, weren't they? The whole like, and then it looked like everything started smaller and got wider as it went up.
Yeah.
Like everything was just a bit skewed and not quite right. And But yeah, who are the people who come in? The Red Eyes?
Red Eyes, yeah.
Red Eyes.
And they're after like busting some shit up and stealing from the old ladies.
Yeah, but they're only after jewellery and fake limbs.
Yeah, that fucking arm gets thrown everywhere, doesn't it?
Just like Rocket Raccoon. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, fucking Marvel ripping off Mystery Men.
Yeah.
I'll take the man's fake eye, his teeth.
There's loads of bad puns, like, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I loved it.
I hated
Someone
it.
threw the arm after fighting it off the veteran man.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, stop it, I'm a vet. And then he rips his arm off and then he throws it. And then that cup of liquid gets spilled over and there's like a bedpan.
In a bedpan,
and it makes it look like piss has gone into
I
the
was like,
bedpan.
what? Who let that joke into this film? I was like, is that supposed to be a joke? Like, I didn't.
You realise how much that joke would have cost as well. Someone would have had to source that coloured liquid to go into that container, and then they had to plan the shot for that.
Yeah. Probably done like
that
5
was an
takes of it.
expensive, cheap joke.
Do you know what I didn't like though? The bit where the arm went up into the chandelier, the fake arm, because it was obviously on the chandelier and they dropped it off and then reversed it. Like thing, and I was like, oh, that looks cheap. So Captain Amazing comes in. Oh, well,
no,
we get introduced to
The mystery man. Well, some of them.
So there's the shoveler. We've got Mr. Furious.
Yeah.
And then
The Blue Raja.
Blue Raja. Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have any blue in his costume.
No, he doesn't. And
But it's different. It's because if you knew history, you'd know.
I liked that. I liked his little quirks about.
But his explanation was, if you think back to Imperial Britain, then
blue was
it's fine.
expensive.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
If you think back to when we enslaved part of India, it's an okay. It was just such a weird explanation.
Yeah, it was.
I loved him.
So they come in. He does his like angry thing. The shoveler hits a few people with his shovel, and then the Blue Raja throws forks. For some reason, I remember watching this. It was one of those films that when it came out, I got an American DVD so I could watch it early. And I remember as a kid really like not liking the bit when he throws the fork in William H. Macy's bum and he just goes, oh. And he doesn't like go, or anything. It just cuts to a shot of his face going, oh. And I was like, oh.
I just loved how like ham the fight scene was though.
Yeah.
It was pun after pun. Well, I know that was what they was trying to do. They were trying to send up the action movie Batmans of the time, the 89, 90, what was the Returns? 90...
No, Returns is a good one though.
No, what year was it? Because this was 99.
So that must
First
be
Batman
92?
was 89, 92.
91 maybe?
Yeah. So we're sending up those by every time they do an action, they do a pun. But sometimes the action is shit, or sometimes the pun is shit. Or in Mr. Furious's case, it's both of them at the same time, which was a good balance to show that, like, sometimes they were both like Blue Raja would nail it with a fork, but do a really shitty pun. Shoveler would miss with his shovel. I don't know. But we're spending a lot of time on the intro.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Well, then Captain Amazing comes in, and then we have this storyline that starts up about a kind of a crisis of confidence. He's like the big I am within Champion City, but all the villains have been locked away. And I thought that was quite an interesting story. And I must admit, and as it goes on, one of my complaints about this film is that it has too many things going on, too many stories, and they give too much time to certain things, even down to stuff like they have like 2 mentor figures. Later on, they have the Sphinx, and then Tom Waits' character who does the tech stuff. And I was like, you just need one of those.
I didn't think he was a mentor though.
No, but he kind of filled that, like later in Dodgeball, when they make Dodgeball and they have Patches O'Houlihan, they just have one side character who comes in, and I'm like, it kind of should have been one, or probably would have helped if it was just one sidekicky kind of character who helps them and builds the machines. But they had 2, and then it was like, as it got on, I was like, whoa, 2 of them. And this, when it was like, that was quite an interesting story with Greg Kinnear being like, oh, he's having a crisis of confidence. He's lost all his villains. And then I was like, but it's not your film. Like, you've set up this thing, but it's not your film. We're watching the Mystery Men film. So that was a bit like weird from the beginning. I didn't know how I felt about it. I was like,
but how else was Casanova Frankenstein going to get out of the mental institution?
Anyway, that like what happens in when he goes in and the psychiatric woman or whatever is like, I think he's absolutely sane. They could have been like, what? And she's like, yes, I passed him as sane. They could have been like, right, sane, out. And she could have been like coerced by him to set him free.
Yeah, but that would have been too much Batman. That would have been far too much like Harlequin Joker.
Yeah, but like, I've not read that, but like, it could have gone down that route, especially if they were setting up Batman films.
You know the Harlequin Joker dynamic,
not massively. From Suicide Squad, but yeah, I've never like read any comics or watched.
She gets gaslighted.
Yeah,
oh, does she?
Yeah.
They're
going to turn that around in Birds of Prey, though, aren't they? Birds of Prey,
the
Harley
one.
Quinn.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then Casanova Frankenstein, he gets introduced.
Fucking love that.
He's an absolutely insane character. He's just having the time of his life.
Casanova Frankenstein.
I read that apparently one of us, the actors, I think it was uncredited of who, just apparently once said that we think the producers only chose him as the bad guy because of his name.
Oh, right.
Because it's based off a comic book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's actually based off a comic book.
Yeah.
So there are some bad guys to pick from. And we went, that's the main guy. And it was like, it's heavily implied that it's because of just the name.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a good name. And Jeffrey Rush brings like loads to that character. He's fucking bang on. He had a right moment when he did like between that and Pirates, where he was just fucking smashing villains out of the park. He was fucking sick in this film.
Yeah.
Every time
great.
he was on, I was like, yes, this guy's ace.
Fucking Eddie Izzard as well.
Oh,
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
love Eddie
good.
Izzard in this film.
No, he was the fucking pits. I can't believe it. Like, he was dreadful.
It was
Tony.
amazing.
Yeah. And what was the point in him and Praz being in it? I was like,
they were
Because they were the disco
Yeah.
guys.
but like they kind of got like a bit of a story. And sorry.
Eddie Izzard has got the best line in this entire film. Oh no, he's the motivation for the best line in this entire film, which we'll get to
Right.
in a bit.
Okay,
But he's got some good lines.
What, the baby bowler stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, we've got the Disco Boys, and then what's the plan? They get together in like the diner and decide. Is this later on where they decide they need a team?
It starts with they interrupt that. They let out Casanova. It takes a while to understand why the mystery men are going on their mission. It takes a fair bit. Is it like half an hour into the film or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
45
maybe
minutes?
about 45 minutes.
Well, I needed to set up the idea of a team being too small before the 35-minute mark. So it was 35 minutes before they were like, we need a bigger team. And that was another thing where I was like, they had that whole fight thing at the beginning. They could have just thrown in a couple of little lines about like needing extra people, or at the end of it being like, we got our asses handed to us. I know it's a typical line, but being like, there is only 3 of us.
They got their asses handed to them because they needed a bigger team.
Yeah.
It was because they were shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we need
But
training.
they don't think they're shit, though.
Yeah. But I mean,
it-
that's fine.
Yeah.
He's the best shoveler in the city.
Oh my God, the bits with the shoveler when he went back to his home with his like mixed race family, I was just like, I want to watch this film.
Yeah.
And when she had the rubber gloves around his face and stuff, I was like, this is ace. And William H. Macy's just a fucking great
They were
presence.
weird point of view shots.
Yeah, but I loved
They
those. They were so
land
odd.
in that film. at
Yeah.
all.
I liked them.
I love how weird
Yeah.
the whole thing's fucking shot.
Who was the director? I don't know.
Oh, the director of this film made this, made Pluto Nash.
Oh God.
And nothing ever again. So in fact, sorry, I say that. He wrote, the writer actually, he wrote Hocus Pocus, this, Pluto Nash, and nothing ever again. The director made this,
Oh shit.
and that's it.
Because he just realised that I am not going to make a film any better than this.
But I was like, this must be wrong on like IMDb. I was like, his director credits was this, and then like a short for Volvo, So it was like probably an advert. And I was like, right, okay then. And then do you know what my instant thought was? He must be dead. And I was like, if no one ever just makes one feature film and then never does anything again, I was like, oh, so he must be dead. So I was Googling like how he died. No, but nothing, no record of him. I don't know what happened to him.
I like it. He goes to his missus or his partner, just like, oh, I really feel like I need to make my film. Thanks, Mystery Man. I'm done.
After he's done it, it's like, I've completed film now. I'm going to move on to the next project.
I don't think there's more I can do. He's probably the man behind every worst inclination of everything. He's like, I think I want to build the system that the NHS is built on. Then builds that and then fucks off.
I like his completed film.
His completed film.
So then they start getting the team together.
Yep.
And the first person is Kel.
Invisible Boy.
Yeah, who I think has the best joke in the film when he's just like, hey, Dad, I'm just going to go and take 3 strangers into my bedroom or something. And I was like, yes, now it's like cracking on and getting good jokes. But then he wasn't in it very much from then on.
Oh, he was. He just didn't really have any lines.
He wasn't really in the film. He was. He just didn't speak.
I like the bit with... is it Captain Awesome? I forgot his name.
Captain Amazing.
Captain Amazing. You know, a bit where him and Casanova Frankenstein are like, oh, I know that's a spear tip like that. Mm. And he's saying like, oh, I know all your foibles. And then at one point he goes, oh, you should try that. It smells like roses. And like, oh, really? Psst. And then he just goes, hot dang! And just drops to the ground.
But that was like weirdly out of character.
Oh, it was the chloroform.
Because it was a remote
expelling device or something.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It was just be out of, like you say, it's out of character. Hot dang! And just collapses.
But that felt like he just improvised that bit and like, we'll keep it in.
So you've got the spleen as well.
The spleen. So Paul Rubens
superpowers just farting.
Yeah. Do you know what? I kind of like thought like, oh, I forgot that like farting was
funny.
Was comedy. Like there's 2 wedgie jokes in this film. One near the beginning and one near the end. I was like, oh, a wedgie joke, and then there was a second one. I was like, oh, a wedgie joke, and then the fact that there's a character whose whole thing is that they fart and that he's like, I look be deadly or whatever. And
he's just right greasy looking with boils on his face.
I hated his face. I didn't like looking at him. I was like, I don't want to watch my own TV.
I went in knowing that I'd hate that character because I never liked him when I first watched it. I knew it was a shit film. Hated it. Hated all the fart and the lame jokes, but you know what? The bit where the tornado of a can lifts him up and he drops down. And he just lets out one fart. They didn't need all the other fart jokes, just that one was perfectly timed for me. It just got me.
Right, well, on that fart joke, we'll call it for the end of part 1 and we'll be back to talk about part 2. This is a break from the podcast. This isn't fake, it is real. Grab a biscuit, a Kit Kat, or toffee, maybe samosa. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Mystery Men episode of the Spoilt Milk movie podcast, where we're talking about the team building, and we've covered the spleen and we've covered Invisible Boy. The next one who joins, I would say, is Baby Bowler.
It's recruitment process in general is quite fun.
Yeah.
Is that where Smash Mouth comes in?
Yeah.
Did you watch the video that I sent you?
No, I refuse to watch somebody.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah.
I've seen multiple iterations of Smash Mouth in like, there's one where Smash Mouth, they've tuned it so it's all in the same key.
Oh, right.
Hey, now there's a rock star.
You're even doing it.
I can't even do it right, but it is creepy.
Yeah.
There's so many different versions of Smash Mouth. That's how popular it is.
Somebody.
So Smash Mouth aside, we get the rest of the team. So they have that like montage bit where people are doing their powers.
PMS Avenger.
Yeah. Waffle Man.
Waffle Man with his little song. Waffle Man.
That's that guy who's on like SNL nowadays, isn't he? And he does
Dunno.
the Brad Pitt impression.
He looked kind of familiar, but also just American familiar. So
Who else did we have?
There was Pencil Man and Pencil Boy.
Pencil Boy stole that scene.
Yeah.
And I'm Pencil Boy. He had the smuggest face.
You had a good superhero voice then. That was good.
I'm Pencil Boy.
Oh, you've earned it.
There was a guy that thought, oh yeah, this guy's going to be good. He's in like a cloak and stuff, and he fucking whips it open and he's wearing a tutu.
Yeah.
You think? I think a lot of this, it could have been even better with just a little bit more directing. As in, you didn't have much time to realise he was a good, like he was built like a. It was a split second of like, oh, that's a muscly guy before revealed it, where it then built it up more of him walking in and he was like ominous. It's like, this guy's good. I think it was cut very short.
Well, maybe that's why the director never worked again. Ever. In anything. And it has no presence on the internet.
I mean, this film
He's completed it.
Yeah. That's the reason.
This film wasn't great, but never directed anything again. I mean,
a Volvo commercial. So then, well, this is the reason why we're doing this podcast, because you said a few episodes ago about the joke, and I think, is this what you were talking about, where it was like fell down an elevator?
So Baby Bowler comes in, and you get her backstory of she's got this bowl. To show off who she is, she throws a bowling ball at just some really cool shit, and they're like, "You are more powerful than us. We're just a bunch of guys who have no powers. You're badass."
The bowling ball's got a dad's skull in it.
Yeah, which is amazing.
It's fucking sweet. If I could get a bowling ball like that, I would bowl all of the time.
And I read afterwards that there's an American bowling company who specifically did like a lower quality version of that because of the popularity of his film.
Could you also get the one from Kingpin where it's got the rose in the middle?
Oh, you can get the one from Kingpin with a rose in the middle.
Fucking love Kingpin. That's one of my favourites.
If I had a bowling ball, I'd go for one of those. But she eventually, there's a bit where they're bonding in like the diner or something like that, and she essentially explains.
Oh no, they were just like, oh, she's like, do you know? They're asking who she is.
Yeah,
and she's like, oh, do you know Bobby Carmine
the bowling?
Yeah, and everyone's like, fuck Carmine, blah blah blah.
Best bowler ever.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, I heard that he died, and she's like, yeah, fell down an elevator shaft onto some bullets.
The police ruled it as an accident.
Yeah.
That's a really good joke.
I've never gotten over that.
It's the ways that she says it as well.
Yeah, she's really good in this.
She's like just really deadpan about it. Like she's not like making it out as a joke or just like upset about it or anything like that. She's just really dry and just kind of like, yeah, I just fell down an elevator shaft on some bullets.
Do you not think she should have been the third mystery men person, and the relationship between her and her dad bowling ball thing could have been a bigger centerpiece?
Yeah, probably.
Like that.
I kind of liked how little you knew about it. It was a little bit of mystery, and I think that's what the film's all supposed to be.
Yeah, but then that ending bit, I wanted more emotional weight to her essentially letting go of her father.
She didn't give a fuck. You were holding her back, getting involved in conversations, calling people commies.
Yeah. I liked that her dad was essentially some racist old man.
But no, I think you are kind of right. They sold it, and then maybe that's the problem of the people who made the film, that they sold that as being like her emotional peak of her story, letting go of her dad, and it was just like she's so deadpan and doesn't get that much airtime that you were like, right, I don't really care.
Oh no, I cared.
Like,
but I feel like you fill in the blanks with your own backstory.
I imagine that.
There you go.
I imagine that the bowler, like Carmine, the actual guy, he looks like a fat darts player, you know, like old school darts player with all of the gold and just smoking a fag and drinking a pint at the same time.
You see what I mean about the backstory?
Wearing a vest.
But imagine
with his bowling shirt open.
So you've got a family.
Gravy down his vest.
It's like the worst example. So like if it was my dad that was in that bowling ball, it would just be a load of sexist comments about women driving on the road all the time. Like I very much liked how just real that family story was.
Yeah.
Just like, I love you, but it doesn't mean you're a decent person. You were still a shithead.
So then what happens? They make the team.
Yeah, so make the team, and then they're driving down the road. They see Casanova Frankenstein's
in the big
limo.
Corvette thing or whatever.
And then they follow it. Casanova realizes that they're being followed, and then they get out. The spleen farts through the window, and then the Blue Raja throws a fork in and winds the windows up, and they can't wind them down.
Yeah, it locks them in.
They're all almost vomiting. The shoveler starts just. Oh no! The shoveler flings Mr. Furious on top of the car, the limo with his shovel. Flings him up at the top. Mr. Furious is raging out on the top and just banging on the bonnet and stuff, and then the shoveler's just bashing the side of the limo, and then Baby Bowler throws the bowling ball through the window. I would have just left that fart in there and drove off.
They were that was quite a good outcome. They roughed them up a bit, threatened them,
It was
and then
nothing more than a gang of teenagers could have done.
But what? But then what happens?
They go to the diner. They get pissed.
What was the point of that scene then?
I think it was just because
it was to give them a mini victory before their big low.
Yeah, so is that what it is then? A little victory before
they get caught out by the people they just took advantage of. They just caught them off guard. But really, the bad guys are in control, and they find them in their diner celebrating because they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, they come out the diner pissed up after they've celebrated.
Sorry, my notes stopped for ages.
When you passed out from boredom.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very long, this film. It was really long.
2 hours 20?
Yeah. Oof. And then they
so they come out of the diner and they're all there lined up,
and then the jive guys.
That's where the movie should have ended. They should have got shot, and that was it.
But then he's got this, because there's this another sideline story about his love interest with Claire Forlani, and then she's like, "Have you just tried being you?"
Oh, we don't get to that point yet.
I know, but we can't go through every last little.
Well, that's the way the Sphinx gets introduced, because the Sphinx saves them from the jive gang.
Yes,
and
he
then
does.
They get trained, and he disagrees with the Sphinx.
Yeah, because he's like, we're just knitting and making quilts, don't he?
Yeah, because everyone's honing in their craft, and Mr. Furious just ain't furious at all.
Yeah,
and he's getting really frustrated trying to balance a stick on his head, wearing watermelon shoes.
Yeah, I did get the watermelon shoes.
They weren't even supposed to be there. It's just there. Where do the watermelon shoes come in? And the Sphinx I can't remember asking you to do that.
It's just no.
Oh God, there's so much left to talk about in this film, because again, they haven't even been to get their equipment yet. So he goes to the diner, doesn't he? Yeah. And she's like, "Why don't you just be you?" He's like, "I'm not going to do it anymore." And then they're like, "We need someone to help us make weapons."
Yeah, because the Sphinx is just something, weapons, something.
Yeah. Because he always turns things, doesn't he? He does a bit of a Yoda thing, doesn't he?
Everything he says is reversed.
Yeah.
It just fucking bugged. I enjoyed it, but it also bugged me as well. I was just I would punch you square in the nose if you spoke to me like that. I'd be like, English, please.
Yeah. By the third line he has, you already hate him.
Yeah.
And it takes about 8 to 10 more lines before Mr. Furious even calls him out. I think that's where the training montage went too long, because you had too much of the Sphinx saying the same thing over and over again.
So they do that training sequence, montage, whatever. Then they go and get weapons.
Get the weapon.
Tom Waits, so I didn't even know that was Tom Waits. And
the non-lethal weapons as well.
Yeah,
all of them are non-lethal.
But then also, they did the non-lethal weapons, and he did that word tornado bomb
in a can.
And I was like, "Oh, is it this film now?" Everything, as weird as it was kind of grounded in some kind of reality, and he was throwing forks, and that was his superpower. And then he set off this tornado bomb, and I was like, "Oh, so are we in a world where people have these crazy weapons, or are we in a world where people just throw forks?" And I was like, "Oh, you've just flipped this and completely changed it at that point." Did anyone else find that weird, or is that just me?
It became a bit of a.
Did I miss something earlier?
James Bond Q moment, because every one of those weapons were one-time use. That's all they were.
But then again, I guess the guy did fart earlier and people passed out, so maybe, maybe so they get the weapons, and then
they get back, don't they? And they're just like planning everything. Sphinx is like, you three are going to like go in and do whatever, and you three are going to be like the lookouts. And instead, it makes some sort of reference for a three-eyed, three-footed raven or something.
And they do that little like hands in thing.
We haven't even explained what the actual plot is of the villain's plan, which is Casanova Frankenstein has Captain Amazing. And
Hostage.
it's going to trigger something at midnight on a set date. And that's why they're trying to break into rescuing. And we've already tried to break in once and failed. They just got beat up.
Oh, yeah, and then they end up killing him, don't they?
Yeah, by accident.
The Blue Raja does the switching.
The second switch. Right, I've done the second switch. It's like, do it again. She's like, how many times do I do the second switch? She's like, just do it again. She's like, right,
moron.
I'm just gonna stop right now. So I've done the first switch and I've done the second switch. How many switches of the switches am I doing?
And he's getting right agitated, isn't he?
Even though we built this film up of they're idiots, this is the one time where they're very sensible. This is a death machine, and you're just panicking and telling us to flip switches. Is it the actual switch, or is it this panic switch that you've done? I love that.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was a really good moment.
And they kill him, don't they?
Yeah, they turn him into like some tree bark shit.
Yeah, that CGI didn't look so great.
I fucking loved it.
CGI in 99 wasn't good.
But the practical for when he's dead.
Yeah, and they like snapped his hand off that.
When she comes to check his pulse.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Apparently, she didn't know that hand was going to break off. She knew she had to check it. So that reaction of her going, was legit.
So yeah, he dies. They come back. They formulate the plan. Mr. Furious comes back, says sorry after walking that bitch home. They then go to Casanova Frankenstein's. I fucking love that name. Casanova Frankenstein's manor.
Better than the Disco Boys.
Yeah.
Casanova Frankenstein's got like all of the gangs.
Yeah.
Like in one room. So
Did you notice who was the head of the Bros?
No.
It was
Michael Bay.
Yeah, Michael Bay. The director guy was like, can we bring our brewskis?
The brewskis?
Yeah. And there was CeeLo Green, wasn't there? The guy who sings, fuck you.
Yeah, he was in the rap gang.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
After he got took down by the blame gun. The blame thrower, sorry.
The blame thrower.
Yeah.
There was the sexy lady gang.
Yeah, whose clothes shrunk.
Yeah. There was like the old school gangsters, like mafia gangsters.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. Yeah, they used the clothes shrinking thing on the ladies, and then he was like, my pants have shrunk. And I was like, oh, God, a boner joke.
Yeah, that was cringe.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
No.
And then he has his big fight. I know there's like a lot of fighting going on. Invisible Boy actually goes invisible.
He actually goes invisible, but only when people can't look at him.
Yeah.
And then his clothes. I don't get that. Like, how can your clothes just fall off when you turn invisible? You're not turning like.
If you're disappearing, then yeah, but invisible means you're still there, but people can't see you.
Yeah.
It's still a quick dick joke where we go, two hands, man.
Two hands, man.
But I like that turn where he has the most ridiculous power. He clearly just seems like an insane kid of, I can go invisible if no one's looking. And then he gets a death sentence and he managed to do it. I thought that was really nice.
The spleen gets shot in the ass. But his superpower still works.
Yeah.
Spleen, fuck me.
I fucking love it. But yeah, they managed to kill Casanova Frankenstein.
They have like a little fight, don't they? Where, and you see that like fingernail point of view or whatever.
Mr. Furious actually turns furious.
Well, anyway, we are at the end here. They come out, they make a couple of jokes about the name of the group.
The fucking Sphinx comes out with some shite.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? So what are we thinking of the film? What are we rating Mystery Men?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, Cham, you get to go.
Yeah,
you go first, Cham.
You never get to go
I thought
first.
it was shit. Like properly dog's eggs. I used to love
Dog
this
sex.
film. Dog's eggs.
Can't believe it was complete dog sex.
I used to love this film as well. Like, and my brother's wife used to be like, "It's shit," and I was like, "What are you talking about? It's fucking genius." And then I watched it the other day and was like, "Yeah, this is shit." The jokes weren't funny. It was far too long, like far too long, about an hour too long. There was far too many plot lines. The spleen made me feel sick every time he was on the screen, and I can't believe his whole thing was he does fart jokes. Spoilt Milk. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Who's going next?
I fucking love it.
No, you do.
I knew you fucking loved it.
So we chose this one because I don't have the internet at the moment because I've currently moved house.
And what were the options?
So it was, I gave you 3 options and it was, 4. So yeah. So there was Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker was the one I remembered, yeah.
Die You Zombie Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Brewster's Millions.
Oh, I can't remember you saying that.
Yeah. And The Mystery Men.
Yes.
I don't remember Brewster's Millions.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. No.
I'd watch that.
But I was like, yeah, let's do Mystery Men.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, yeah, I like that film. Let's watch it.
So Luxurious Cheese for me.
Oh, well.
This is a film that is in my DVD collection and has been much a treasure of mine for a long time. Because if you think when this film came out, it does a send up of comic book movies before comic book
It's
movies
20 years
were-
old.
Yeah. Before like Blade pushed things into a stratosphere of great. There was things like Batman, and it was just everything I ever wanted in a comic book movie. But I watched it now. I'm sorry, Katty. I love it, but I don't think I'd recommend it to people. That's I would happily watch this over and over again.
Really?
But we're not going on whether or not you'd recommend
That's
it
true.
to someone.
No, I
It's
think
not.
that's the true. If I could tell someone that I think you should watch it,
You recommended us watching The Greasy fucking Strangler.
No.
And FX.
We watched it because you said to watch it. Hey, it should be about what you like feel about
I
it.
recommended you watch Greasy Strangler out of morbid curiosity. I was like,
So
I
then your
recommend
own
you
ruling
watch it,
system-
A Corpse Decay. That it's not that I enjoy it.
But
it's
then your
because I
own
wanna see
ruling
your-
system is false then, because you recommended that because you thought it was shit.
But Mystery Men or Mystery Mates, as it should have been.
It should just be down to how you feel about it.
Yeah, whether you like it or you don't like it.
It's still bad. It's still a bad film.
But do
And I think
you
I really like it because of the nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
okay.
Yeah.
I still like it.
I do love it, but I don't think I'd love it if I watched it fresh now because there's so much shit.
It is far too long.
Yeah,
And there's
I don't think
far-
it's long enough.
and the thing is, they've got a lot of good ideas, but they don't tighten it up. Like Cham said, Cham probably made the best point that I didn't realize is the mentor figure is split into 2, but is unnecessary. Sorry, I wanted to.
You don't
love
have
it.
to apologise to me. I don't give a
thought-
shit.
No, but I felt like I was like, yes, let's
Yeah.
watch that. And I was like, yeah, I'll happily stick that on. And I wasn't happy.
This is probably my most reluctant spoiled
Yeah,
milk
me
ever.
too, probably.
I want to put it in luxurious cheese, but I just can't.
No, you guys do you. You don't have to apologise to me. I like shit.
Do you know what, as well? I watched this and I was like, I fucking hate Ben Stiller's angry man shtick. And I'm like, he does it all the time. He did it in Friends. He had a guest appearance in Friends and everything was like, oh, little chickadee. And he does these little hands. And I was like, every time he was on, I was like, I don't want to be watching this. Loved William H. Macy.
Yes.
Loved Kel.
Yes.
Loved Blue Raja. Loved the bowler.
You didn't like the
Fucking
spleen.
hated the spleen.
Yeah.
Didn't like the Sphinx. Didn't like the weapons guy. And I hated Ben Stiller. So that's not really good, is it, if he's the main guy? There was potential. But, yeah. So, are we saying it's Spoilt Milk?
Well, it's 2 against 1, so...
Until next time, ta-ta.
Toodle pip.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.